This is C.R.P.H.A. Humanitarian Advocate. I am going to discuss about two people. One being in Washington, D.C., that's supposed to represent California, and who has a hatred towards our president for no real logical adult reason, except for to benefit her party, which is basically what Nancy Pelosi doesn't get is that because of the voters being each and every one of the American people, and I could easily add myself into it, but I don't vote Democrat anymore. Um, much like I used to in years past. Um, and to the idiot that I used to trust while he was the mayor of San Francisco, and who is and who is currently the governor of California. Not the lieutenant governor like he was when Jerry Brown was the governor. And Jerry Brown made things way worse for California in his second time around. But Gavin Newsom is the current governor of California, and he is doing something very, very illogical, and I'll get into both on both aspects. Um, let's start with Gavin. Um, Gavin has obviously he he's bullshitting the American people through the liberal media on TV by saying that he wants us to be safe and healthy and all this other shit. Yet in every post that I've read on Facebook that he's favoring the illegal immigrants over the ones that have lived in the state of California way before the illegal immigrants came into this state across the borders, even before and during the current presidency of Clinton, Bush Jr., and Obama, and now Trump. Yes, you might say it's the president's responsibility, but guess what, though? The president is not really fully responsible for who does and who does not cross the border, and who is not supposed to do it in a legal aspect. The basic fact is the president can put his actions and efforts into making sure that it doesn't happen, which Trump has done. Yet he's been getting backlash by Nancy Pelosi for no reason. But yet the one thing is that Nancy Pelosi and her little constituents, her illogical, sinful, socialist constituents, think that if they allow illegals into the state of California illegally, especially, that it'll benefit the Democratic Party. Bad, sinful thinking, Nancy Pelosi. But yet, here's the other part of it. Seeing that we have had this particular pandemic that we're dealing with right now, Gavin Newsom, since he's been governor, he's obviously favoring the illegals over the legal citizens, starting with myself as well as many other, more than several others in the state of California, in making sure that the illegals are taken care of and tended to, and taking precedence over legal citizens, such as myself and, again, several others in California. And I'm just saying myself, I'm not saying if I am in California, I'm just adding myself into it. Because I am a legal citizen. I was born and raised in this country. But the basic fact is that Gavin Newsom is not being a very caring, logical, and sensible, and even spiritually thoughtful governor, and he's not being a true humanitarian in that aspect. By favoring one group of people, being the illegals, over the legal citizens. It should be whoever has lived in the state of California longer, being the legal citizens, to start with, should take precedence over the ones that come over into this country and into the state and country illegally. There, Mexico would do that. I know that. They would tend to their own people over us. It's been said also that if we were to try to cross their border, we'd be shot. Seriously, we'd be shot before we even cross that damn border. Or even after we cross that damn border, we'd be shot. So, Gavin Newsom, you are not really a true caring humanitarian. You're not a true caring person. I don't care what your wife says either. And yes, I've seen your wife on the fucking commercials in between other commercials and my TV viewing. And I'm sure several other Californians have seen the same thing. You are not a true humanitarian. You have changed from a very caring person when you were in the mayor seat in San Francisco to a socialist jackass, uncaring, unhumanitarian dumbass. Aside from the fact that he changed parties before Gavin became lieutenant governor, second governor to Jerry Brown, then and before he became governor in the head governor for the state of California, he has become the most sinful, illogical, socialist, un-American, stupid, fucking brain dead idiot. Gavin, I wrote to you, and I meant what I said in that letter. That means you need to tend to the legal citizens. Oh, and the legal citizens in the state of California always, always take precedence over those who come in here illegally. I don't care if you're trying to favor the fucking party of the liberal Democrats. You're not supposed to do that. And Nancy Pelosi is not supposed to do what she's been doing. Gavin, I'm going to give you one warning. And I'm going to give you only 72 hours to change your tune. That means you got to fucking start changing your tune in putting precedence over us legal citizens in favoring the illegals, like you said in each news post, or get the fuck out of the seat, because I will support even stronger than ever the grouping that is working to take you out of the governor seat. And yes, there is such of an effort going on, even now, even with the fact that it hasn't been advertising itself too much right now. And even if it isn't, it can be reestablished to where Gavin Newsom is taken out of the seat of governor, of a California state governor. So Gavin Newsom, you can deny what I said all you want, but it's in plain fucking factual things of on Facebook, via the phone and the computers, that you have undoubtedly favored in putting efforts towards to benefit and help the illegals over the legal citizens. And you're not supposed to do that. And like I said, I know for a fucking fact, Gavin, that the Mexican government would favor their own people over the illegals if we were to go across the border illegally. But at the same time, I know a number of people have said if we tried to go over their border, we'd be shot at. But yet, we legal citizens have more than enough sense not to go over the border. We have more than enough sense to take efforts and actions to go into the Mexico and New Mexico areas if need be legally. So, Gavin, you have only one option to make more than an effort, more than a strategy, more than anything else to make sure that legal citizens, the ones that have lived in the state of California and who have come into the state of California, even as in the tourist aspect, you need to benefit them over the illegals. And if you continue to benefit the illegals as if the illegals take precedence over the legal citizens, then you will be taking a big fucking risk, and you will be taken out of your seat by the Constitution of the state of California as well as the Constitution of this country. And I've said for you, Gavin, to take down the sanctuary city and state status, and I've and I've written to you on other aspects too. So you better fucking take what I say seriously, because I mean it. The legal citizens in California take precedence and more than accountability over the illegals. You have 72 hours to change your tune. If you do not, the action of you being taken out of your seat will be put forth, guaranteed. And this is no joke. You may laugh about this, but guess what? I've done many things within the legal aspects and within the constitutional aspects, and I don't fucking fail. And I know those who are watching this, of those citizens of California as well as other states, agree with me. And they would even do that for even with the others within the other states. The legal citizens take precedence over illegals. They will. Oh, it's always been that way, and it always will be that way. If the governorship goes against that shit, they will be risking their chances of ever being put back in office. And they can be risking their chances of ever being in any office, political or otherwise. Therefore, you'd be fucking out of a job if you don't change your tune fast. And this is not a threat, though. This is no threat. This is a damn promise. I don't threaten. I tell it how it is, and if you don't like it, I don't give a damn, because you obviously don't give a damn. Even though you claim that you do, according to you, by lying through the media to the American people, starting with KCRA3 and many other stations. Within the state of California. So, Gavin, you need to take heed to what I say. I don't care if you hear it from anybody within your cabinet or administration. You better take what I say seriously. Because I care about people. And yes, I do care about the illegals. But even as a spiritual person like I am, and like a humanitarian like I am a true humanitarian, yes. But the basic fact is that the legal citizens are to be taken care of first. If you go against that, your chances of ever being back in office will falter. Your chances of ever being in any office will go into non-existence. Your choice. But get this, Gavin. You want to build up trust continually to and from the California citizens? Quit favoring the illegals. Get rid of the illegals. Deport their fucking asses. Start doing shit for the American people that are legal citizens in the state of California. Start showing that you're benefiting the American people within California that are legal citizens, that have lived in the state of California longer than anybody else has, to start with. Or step down. Because you will be taken out one way or the other in accordance to the Constitution. And you will not be able to go back in any political office, in any office in general. You'll be 40 or 50 some odd year old, how old you are, I don't really give a damn, but whatever age you will be, you'll be jobless because of your actions of as of current. So if you know, Gavin, that the Mexican government would favor their people over us if we were to do what the illegals have done, then you should do the same shit and favor the legal citizens within California and do more than benefit the legal citizens of California before you do a damn thing for the illegals. Or I will make sure that you are forced to deport those fucking idiot illegals without question, regardless of the sanctuary city policies and regardless of the sanctuary state policies. The president can do that. And so can the voters. It is because of the American people who got your ass in that seat of governor. We can easily rip it fucking off where you become bare ass naked if possible. Even if you were to cement yourself or glue yourself to it, we can easily pull your ass off easily. In accordance to the Constitution and the Supreme Court, and in accordance to many other aspects in other variable numbers of things. Nancy Pelosi now. Nancy Pelosi thinks that It's okay that the death toll has grown during this pandemic, and she doesn't really feel that she needs to do anything until her party gets what they want. And what Nancy Pelosi doesn't realize, it's because of the American people that got her fucking slutty ass and her little fucking senior citizen ass in that seat that she's in now. Her decrepit little wrinkly ass will be torn out of that seat in accordance to the Constitution and in accordance to the Supreme Court if she fucking doesn't start going towards logical and spiritually logical things and start fucking working with the president and make sure her party works with the president or in accordance to the Constitution and in accordance to the Supreme Court. Nancy Pelosi and her fucking constituents, along with Chuck Schumer, will be taken out of their seat, and it will happen the same way I said to and about and towards Gavin Newsom. But here's the one thing for Nancy Pelosi as well as Chuck Schumer. They're older. They're old enough to where they'd be able to retire, and that's the only option they'd have because they wouldn't be able to get into any other political seat or even non-political seat after the actions and sinful fucking inhumanitarian and un-American actions that they've shown and voiced. Nancy Pelosi, you will take heed to what I say, and I don't threaten. You and Chuck Schumer will make sure that you and your fucking party will work with the president and quit fucking delaying shit as the death toll rises. Because even in accordance to the Constitution, if you refuse and if you don't give a damn about what happens to the American people, in accordance to the Constitution, the Supreme Court will take your sorry, wrinkly ass out of the seat. And it will do the same thing to Chuck Schumer and your other constituents. So you have only 48 hours to work with the president, make sure that things go the way the president says. You don't have any say so of what is passed in the House and what isn't. You are like known as the third banana. Chuck Schumer is known as the fifth banana. But the top dog is Trump. And he will be even in 2020. So, Nancy Pelosi, in accordance to the Constitution, and in accordance to the human rights aspects, and in accordance to also the Supreme Court, it is not your place to decide what goes through the House and what doesn't, what is passed and what isn't. If it favors the American people and our youth, you make sure that it damn well passes, even if it isn't of your own and your party's own fucking collaborative agreements. You are not the one that says, okay, we're going to do this, but we're not going to have what he wants to be passed. That's not your place. You, Nancy Pelosi, will be taken out of your seat, along with Chuck Schumer, along with every other person in your party, will be taken out of their seat in accordance to the Constitution, in accordance to humanitarian rights, and in accordance to the Supreme Court. And in accordance in every other legislation and documentation that there is in defending and protecting the rights and freedoms and much more of the American people and for the American people, and that even back up and to protect the president himself. You are not to go against any of those, Nancy Pelosi. So you are going to be given only a 48-hour differential compared to Gavin. You, Nancy Pelosi, are going to start caring about the American people. And don't bullshit me. And don't bullshit the American people anymore, saying that you do care when you obviously don't. Because you're playing games with our lives, especially in this pandemic situation. You will take heed to what I tell you, or the devil himself will go and make sure your life is a living hell in the full hindsight, and your family members will be affected spiritually as well. The more you go against the president, the more you ignore the legal citizens of this country, being the American people and our youth, the more you fucking lollygag and play games with our lives and make us wait more and more, longer and longer, guess what? You will be going to the pits of hell. Your soul is already halfway there. You will be joining it sooner than you think if you don't fucking take heed to what I say, because the basic fact is your soul and your conscience is eating away at you. The more you go against the American people, the more you go against the president, your conscience will be eating away at you. Same thing for Chuck Schumer. Same thing for every fucking constituent within the Democratic Party. And this is not a threat. This is not even a spiritual threat. It's a damn promise. I know for a fact, at one point when you were younger, you cared about the American people. But then when you got older and little and more senile, you started not giving a damn about things or people for your own bullshit, demented reasons. And you decided to lie to the American people, deceive the American people, and you had Chuck Schumer, and you're letting your lapdog Chuck Schumer doing the same damn thing. That's very, very sinful, you stupid, senile bitch, Nancy Pelosi. You will take heed to what I tell you, and you will do exactly as I say. You will make sure that everything positive is done for the American people and our youth. You will not play games with our lives and lollygag while more and more lives are negatively affected, even in this pandemic or any other situation. And you will work with the president even if you don't want to. It's not up to you. It's not up to you of who you work with and who you don't. You were voted into that fucking seat. We can easily take you out in accordance to the Constitution. And the Supreme Court will make sure of it too. And so will I make sure of it. So you better fucking take heed to what I tell you, Nancy Pelosi, and fucking start caring about the American people. Start fucking working with the president and getting rid of this pandemic known as the COVID-19 situation. Or step the fuck down, you and Chuck Schumer and your other constituents, or be forced out in accordance to the Constitution and the Supreme Court. Because we American people can make it happen. Even in this pandemic, we can make it happen. And due to your illogical, sinful actions, Nancy Pelosi, your party will be negatively affected even in the presidential race, more so than they already are, due to the impeachment process. And they will be negatively affected even spiritually. And so will their families. And so will your family. And so will Chuck Schumer's family members be negatively affected spiritually because of your heinous, illogical, sinful actions and statements and more. So you only have one option: to work with the president, not against him. You have only one choice: to make sure that the American people, the legal American people, the legal citizens in this country are benefited and protected and more than well taken care of, especially during the COVID-19 situation and many other situations, or you get the fuck out of that damn seat, Nancy Pelosi, you and Chuck Schumer and your other constituents. And you only have 48 hours. You try to elongate that, you're making the biggest fucking mistake of your life. Even for your soul, and your conscience will keep on eating away at you. And believe me, you won't like it. You'll fucking fidget in your seat. You'll fidget at home, even while you're trying to sleep yourself. And so will Chuck Schumer. And so will many of your other constituents within the Democratic Party. Until you start taking what I say seriously. And you better start taking it seriously now. Now, American people, the C.R.P.H.A. humanitarian advocate says right here, those two idiots, along with Chuck Schumer especially, have been bullshitting the American people, thinking that they can get away with it. I can tell you, if we all band together, we can make it to where they lose out not only in the presidential election, but in and more than several other aspects and efforts and that they try to put through. And one of many ways is to threaten them of no harm to the human beings, but to where they will not be able to be in those seats that they're in at current for very long. To where the Supreme Court will take more than heed of the American people and even the protests of getting Nancy Pelosi to fucking wake the fuck up and get her senile ass moving and quit playing games with our lives, especially with the COVID-19 situation and many other situations and issues and matters. Thereby, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and the rest of the constituents within the Democratic Party will have no other alternative but to work with the president, and they still don't have any alternative but to work with the president and quit playing games with our lives, especially with the COVID-19 situation and other issues and matters and what have you. And Gavin Newsom, same thing. So if I see protests even in front of the Capitol building in California, keep it up. Thumbs up on that one. And if I see the same thing in front of the House of Representatives in Washington D.C., keep it up. Keep protesting. But no harm to anybody. The basic fact is these the idiots within the Democratic Party, including Gavin Newsom, think they have more say so and more levity than they really do. And they think that the American people are dumb enough to fucking back them up. I know that the American people are a lot smarter than the liberal politicians take them for and give them credit for. I know the American people are a lot smarter than the liberal idiots give any one of the American people for, even if they do or do not vote for them or support their party or not. So, American people, we need to do more than just sit around. We could easily keep a distance from each other during the COVID-19 thing. And also make the liberal politicians, starting with Gavin, Pelosi, and Schumer, make their life a living hell, even through the Supreme Court in California as well as Washington, D.C. That would also span from other states as well. We need to show them we mean business, that we matter more than they will they even are implementing. They're just doing what they feel is right instead of what's actually right. They're doing it and doing things on what benefits them and their party versus what benefits the American people. And I mean the Democratic Party is doing this shit. The Democratic Party is trying to do things that benefit them, not the American people. The Democratic Party is doing what benefits them, not our youth in this country. They're playing games with our lives during the COVID-19 situation and issue. We need to show that they cannot do that. And obviously, letters don't do it too much, but actions can. So I put forth that you, American people, do your part in making sure that to show that we mean business. How we can go to the points to where we mean more than business. I am not joking. I care about every human being on this planet. We are all Heavenly Father's children, but it's sad to see, and more than illogical and sinful to see, that the number of people in the Democratic Party, as well as the state of California's governorship, as well as the mayor and governor of New York, being both Democrats themselves, are showing no care whatso fucking ever, even in the humanitarian sense, as well as spiritually, about the American people, the legal citizens. And yet they continually favor the illegal. We need to do something to where they will start changing their tune, or for them to step down. It's not good for Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and the rest of their Democratic constituents. And it's not good for Gavin Newsom and his administration to play games with the legal American citizens' lives and well being and health and more. So I said what I wanted to say on that one, and I will keep it strong. And I am going to support. I'm going to back what I say. And hell, I always back what I say. But the basic fact is that I'm here for you American people, the legal citizens. Yes, I do care about the illegals, yes. But there's one thing. We need to be benefited first, seeing that it's our country. We were here way before the illegals. We were here before they started crossing the border again. So therefore, the legal ones take precedence and accountability over the illegal. Just like it would be if we were to go over their border and not be shot at. They would take their government would take have their legal citizens take precedence over us. I know that for a fact. So this country needs to show that we are more than benefited and taken care of in keeping our health and well-being strong and positive and more many other positive things, even spiritually, over the illegals and over their little fucking bullshit liberal socialist damn policies and what they're trying to really do versus trying to hide what they're basically hiding from the American people, which I'm more than well aware of what they're trying to do. And it's not going to happen. And it's not going to pass. Because the Supreme Court will make sure that they will falter in accordance to the Constitution, especially. This is C.R.P.H.A. Humanitarian Advocate, and this video will be also posted on the Citizen Advocate Facebook page of ours. And I salute the president, and I will tell you I will vote for Trump again in 2020. And I ask that everybody else votes for Trump in 2020. And I salute the troops that are currently in active duty and the ones that are not, and and even our veterans. I salute you, even those who fought in World War One, Two, and Vietnam, and the Korean War, and many other wars, even beyond that. Thank you for your service, brothers. And I also thank my father because he was a Marine as well. I will always, I will even I've said before though is that and I salute my father as well because he was a Marine. But at the same time, even if he wasn't, and I know he was though, if he wasn't though, I'd still back him up. That's the type of person I am. He did his part. I'm doing my part, and we can all do our part, guaranteed. And I know Heavenly Father will thank us, and He will bless us for it as long as we don't do any physical harm towards anybody. Be a true humanitarian by helping your fellow man and woman, even when it comes to going against the politicians within the Democratic Party. Guaranteed. This is C.R.P.H.A. humanitarian and citizen advocate. Have a good day. May Heavenly Father bless the United States of America and the American people and our youth in the U.S. and also Trump for 2020.